time so I know when to go back to this. 322, thanks. Alright, cruise boosting. So cruise boosting has pretty much become the most iconic exploit in this game. And the reason why I actually got into this game is because of cruise boosting. I was interested in learning how to do it, and I wasn't really thinking about speedrunning it, but just like the sheer fun of cruise boosting and the movement with it, that was what really got me interested in speedrunning. So even if you don't want to run this game right now, just give cruise boosting a try. It's so much fun, and you might just like it. You might want to run this game just because it's so much fun. Anyway, so let's explain how cruise boosting works. So I'm going to give a background on cruise boosting. It was first discovered when Andy was, well, he's a figure in our community, Cotton Andy. He had the world record a couple of years ago. But he was fooling around, I guess, and he discovered that you can activate Cruise Bubble and Bubble Ball on the same frame. So he started doing this. And that was when cruise boosting was first discovered. So this is the original cruise boost. It's just like a little bit of a slide. You have a lot of freedom over your movement. Like, I can move in any direction right now without turning because his movement's just a little messed up right now. Gives me a lot of freedom. I can jump backward. That's cruise boosting. Now, fast cruise boosting is the technique that we all know. It's pretty much been adapted to cruise boosting now because nobody uses a regular cruise boost for anything anymore. So this is like, fast cruise boosting has pretty much become cruise boosting because that's what everyone calls it now. So then Cole used the information that Andy gave to him, and he discovered fast cruise boost, which is like this. If I can just not be bad at this game. Yeah. Damn, dude, I really gotta get used to this Xbox controller. It's really taking a toll on me. But this is a fast cruise boost. And the reason why this works is because the bubble bowl creates a little bit of a slide when you strafe like this, right? See that slide? And it was already known beforehand that the cruise bubble can capture the momentum of, I'm not so sure about this, but it seems like it can capture the momentum of whatever slide or movement you have currently, like whatever state you're in when you activate Cruise Bubble and Bubble Bowl in the same frame. So the reason why this is so much slower, is because it's only using the frames of the Bubble Bowl when it's like just like this lunge. When he lunges forward, it's kind of slow, so it captures that movement. But here, it's capturing the movement of the slide that you see here. So now that you understand why cruise boosting works, you understand why it works now, so now I can explain to you how to do it. So as we already explained before, you have to activate Cruise Bubble and Bubble Bowl on the same frame. And this is a 60 FPS game, so it's 1/60th of a second precision, which sounds hard, but it isn't like a 1/60th of a second precision when you're timing it based off of something in-game or a sound cue or a visual cue. You're timing it based on your own hands. All you have to do is hit the same buttons at the same time. So it's an easier one-frame input, but it's still a one-frame input. And if you do it successfully on the GameCube and Xbox versions, you'll hear this little ticking noise, like this little winding noise that it's building up now. So I'm going to reset so you guys don't have to hear that while I explain. Now, it's very surface dependent how this works because you want to get a good slide. So sometimes the box will perform better when you're at a little bit of a slighter angle. Sometimes it'll work better if it's flat. It depends on the surface that you're using and what you're comfortable with. So I just experiment with that on whatever item you're trying to cruise boost on. But typically, even if it's flat, when you push forward, you want to slide in the opposite direction that you plan on strafing in. So when I'm walking forward here, even though it appears to be flat, I'm still moving to the, well, see now I'm not. I should be moving to the left a little bit. Now what you're trying to do, once you get this movement here, eventually, like, you'll be like me when you can just like walk up to the box and go like this. But it takes time to get that. When I first started, I always started walking like this until I got my timing down. Now you'll notice, I'll try to do this for you because I'm actually really bad at getting bad cruise boosts now. Hold on, let me try to get an example. I'm trying to get a really sloppy cruise boost, but I can't seem to do it. Sometimes that'll happen. If you do that and you don't get an actual cruise boost, it means that you activated the cruise bubble too early. Sometimes this will happen too. That means you did bubble bowl too early. What you want to see is this. And you get the second part of that by activating the cruise boost a second time after you strafe. See, that isn't going to work because I cruise bubbled and I didn't slide. And the nice thing about cruise boosting is that if you miss it, and you know you missed it, like I did there, you can just go again and try another cruise boost with the strafe and you'll get it. That's why I sometimes use cruise boost more than 3 times, or more than 2 times, more than 3 times sometimes on the boxes or whatever I'm doing it on, because I realize that it isn't going to be fast, so I have to redo it. Now, when I do this, what I'm trying to do is capture the first frame possible of my strafe. Because as you can see, we already established that the cruise bubble, the cruise boost exploit, allows you to capture the momentum of whatever you're doing at the time when you do the bubble ball and the cruise bubble at the same time. You see how when I first start with the strafe, it's a little bit faster, and then it slows down? You'll get a bad cruise boost if you activate it too late. If your second activation is too late, you'll capture the slower momentum. That's why you want to do the 1 frame input, and then you want to end it by doing the second 1 frame input as soon as possible after that one, so you capture the first possible frame of your strafe. And you will have a fast cruise boost that you can use to clear all kinds of gaps and stuff. So I'm also going to turn this into a cruise boost movement tutorial. A good way of checking whether your cruise boost is strong is trying to move backward. If you can't move backward, your cruise boost is strong. You'll see that like on weaker cruise boosts, you'll be able to move back a little bit. And as you get better at controlling the cruise boost, your ability to determine whether it's a good one is going to improve as well. So like right now, I have very good control over it, so I can pull back as hard as I can. Right now I'm moving my control stick left and right, because if I hold it back, he kind of swings around and the camera angle moves with him. But like when you test for a cruise boost, you want to kind of hold down and move the control stick from left to right. Now you know that you have a fast cruise boost. Now we just need to know how to control it. So controlling a cruise boost is sort of like walking, except you can't move backward. And standing still is moving backward. So you actually go at about the same pace as walking in this game when you have a neutral stick. So everything's just kind of shifted up a little bit. Without a cruise boost, when you hold backward, you turn around. When you're neutral, you stand still. And when you move forward, you go walking speed. But for cruise boosting, when you hold backward, you stand, kind of like this. When you hold a neutral, you walk. And when you push forward, you sprint. And sprinting can be used to do all sorts of cool things like this that you wouldn't be able to do before. It takes a lot of practice to get good at controlling your cruise boost. But I recommend practicing here at Squidward's Dream. One of the harder parts to learn in this run. But once your cruise boost control gets very, very solid, this is going to be a piece of cake for you. I promise. Because it's very guaranteed if you have the skill to do it. Now you saw when I did that, I did a bunch of different little tricks and movements. So without a cruise boost, you'll notice that when I use the helmet, I have to stay in one spot. When I slam, I'm kind of in one spot, but you can actually, if you slam and you push forward, or in any direction really, you'll kind of slide a little bit forward. So this can actually be used as a movement method with cruise boosting. And the same thing with bubble wand. You can use bubble spin to stall your momentum. Those are the basics of just movement in this game. But when I have a cruise boost, I can use helmet, and I actually get it like a super high jump when I do this. And for the bubble feet, I can do this. But the thing is, with cruise boosting, since you're always moving forward, it's kind of hard at first to figure out the timing where you're pushing forward and you're moving at the same time and you still want to hit the note. It takes a lot of practice to get used to it. I'm going to demonstrate where you can use this best. Where you can combine these methods, I think this is a very good place to practice using these methods, is the rock bottom trench of advanced darkness. You can actually just cruise boost here. Now this gap is going to require some of the advanced techniques that I just showed you. I'm going to start off by walking off, and you'll see how it goes. You see how I use the bubble feet to move around, and I use the bubble swipe or bubble spin to keep myself in the air. That's the basis of cruise boost control, or I guess cruise control. You can call it that. And you can cruise boost on a lot of different objects if you can find a flat space. Even here, really, I think. Yeah. You pretty much get it anywhere. You can even get it on in jellyfish fields on different characters. You can get it on Squidward, you can get it on Mrs. Puff. So there are a lot of different places where you could try this out. This is one of the harder ones though. And that is the basis of cruise boosting. Can you guys, I'm going to read your questions now. Oh, I'm going to actually explain I guess this needs explanation, but I'll demonstrate how to cruise boost on the door for cheap percent. So a lot of you guys want to try cheap percent. This is an important exploit to learn for cheap percent, is cheat cruise boosting. So you enter your code for fast cruise boost. You can or fast cruise bubble. You can find this on the internet for whatever console you're using. So it's a lot faster than normal cruise bubble. So I usually use more of an angle at this door. You can see the angle that I use. You can use the same timing for a regular cruise boost. You just can't let the bursts get to you. You use the same exact timing, but the bursts are just a little bit faster. Just think about just doing a regular cruise boost. You actually have a bigger frame window for this. See how I did it a little bit too fast? It's kind of hard to see, but I'm using the same method. I'm sure this is obvious, but when I slide to the left, even for regular cruise boosting, when I do this little slide to the left, after, I'm just gonna reset so I can show you guys.
Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain! I can't hear you! Aye, aye, Captain!
To get a good strafe, once you're done pushing forward on the whatever that is, you're using the box or a platform or a wall. Once you activate the first cruise boost, you'll pretty much be locked into the forward movement, and then you can hold to the right. That will give you your strafe. So once you see the bubble appear, you can just hold to the right and then time your second cruise boost. I've become so terrible at doing it on the door there because I haven't played Cheaper since I got my original Xbox. So anyway, that's it, boys. Can you give me a time for this?